To implement our featured movie, we're going to create one and most likely the last component of our entire project. Great job for coming this far. We're going to create a new folder in our components folder called featured movie. Inside of there, we're going to have a featured movie.jsx component. This was supposed to be .jsx, of course, and we're going to have an RAFCE component inside of there. While we're here, we can import a few things like box, typography, card content, and also card media. All of these things are coming from add MUI/material. And we're going to need just one more thing, which is going to be import link. And this is coming from react-router-dom. Of course, while we're here, we can also create the styles. So let's create a new file called styles.js. We can, of course, copy this one and paste it here. Now that we have our styles, right here, we can say import use styles from /styles. And then just below, we can say const classes is equal to use styles, and we call that as a hook. Now, of course, this is the place where we're going to code out our movie featured card. So how do we actually get the data for our movie inside of our featured movie component? Well, let's see where are we calling our featured movie component. That's going to be inside of the movies. So let's go to movies, and right here above our movie list, we want to display our featured movie, and we can immediately import it like this. But let's not do that right away because we forgot to actually export it right inside of the index. First, we have to export featured movie like this. And inside of here, let's try typing this out one more time. That's going to be featured movie, self-closing tag. And if we press Control space, we should be able to import it. There we go, featured movie from ... And we need to pass just one prop to it. And that's going to be a movie. So how can we get to our featured movie? Well, we already have all the movies under data. So in this case, that's going to be just data.results and then 0 because we want to pass over the first one. Now, inside of our featured movie, we're getting a movie as a prop. And what we can do at the start is simply say if no movie. In that case, we can return null. But we should always have it, so that shouldn't really be an issue. So let's start coding the JSX. We're going to have one box element. This box is going to be of a component equal to link, meaning the entire box will be clickable. And it's going to point to, that's going to be a template string, /movie/movie.id. It's also going to have a class name, which is going to be equal to classes.featuredCardContainer. Inside of that box, we're going to have our Material UI card. This card is going to have a class name equal to classes.card. It's also going to have a special classes object because we need to override the root class with classes.cardRoot. And finally, inside of that card, we're going to have a card media self-closing component. We're going to say that our media is a picture. We can also provide the alternative tag for screen readers, and that can be equal to movie.title. Then we need to provide the actual image, and the image is going to be a template string equal to https://image.tmdb.org/t/p/original and / movie question mark dot backdrop, and then finally underscore path. We can also give our card media a title, and our title is going to be the same as our alt. And finally, we're going to give it a class name equal to classes.cardMedia. Now we implemented a lot of code, and let's add our class names. So we can go to our styles, and inside of here, let's first add our featured card container. That's going to be equal to an object, and we first want to give it some margin bottom equal to 20 pixels. Then we want to set the display to be equal to flex. Also, justify content equal to center. We want to give it a height equal to 490 pixels. That's at least what I found to be working the best. We need to set the text decoration equal to none, and that's going to be it. Then we need to style our card. Our card is going to have a width of 100%, a display of flex, a justify content equal to flex-end, and finally, flex direction is going to be set to column. We also have to add our card root, and that's simply going to have a position equal to relative. Finally, we have to style our card media, and our card media is going to have a position of absolute. It's going to be positioned on top 0 and also right 0. It's going to have a height equal to 100% and also width equal to 100% because we want our image to take the entire screen. And finally, we want to darken it a bit by giving it a background color equal to RGBA in parentheses 000, which is black, and then 0.5.75. This is going to be the opacity. And finally, we want to say background blend mode, and that's going to be set to darken. We have to add a comma here and save it. Now we have all of our classes, and we also implemented our card media. So let's see how that is going to look like. As soon as I reloaded the page, we can see some kind of a weird gray rectangle, but it seems to be in the right position. So the question might be, why don't we see the actual movie image? Let's try to figure that out. We have a featured card container, card root, card. Our card media is here, and maybe we misspelled something here. https://image.tmdb.org. There we go. I'm misspelling a lot of things all of a sudden. So let's save it and take one more look, reload the page, and it's still just a gray rectangle. And then right here, we need to have a P. There we go. So that's one more misspelling. So sorry about that. Hopefully you got that right. And finally, we can see our Venom right here. This is the Venom 2 backdrop. Now we just have to implement this text on the bottom left corner. But you can also notice one thing. Notice how we have Venom here and also right here. We'll have to remove it from the first place down below. But first, let's add our text. That's going to be inside of our card, below our card media. We're going to add a box right here. That box is going to have a padding equal to 20 pixels. And inside of there, we're going to have our card content. That card content is going to have a class name equal to classes.cardContent. It's also going to have a classes property equal to an object where we override the root to be equal to classes.cardContentRoot. And inside of there, we need to have a two typographies. So just two typographies. The first one is going to be variant equal to H5, and it's going to have a gutter bottom. And inside of there, we can show the movie.title. We can duplicate it. The second one is going to be variant body 2. It's not going to have a gutter bottom, but it's going to display movie.overview. And finally, before we go ahead and check it out, let's implement the styles. We can add the styles below our card media, and that's going to be card content. Inside of here, we need to set the color to be equal to hash or pound FFF, which is white. We can set the width to be equal to 40%. And we need to add the width of 100 on small devices. So we can say theme dot breakpoints dot down from small, and that's going to be equal to an object where we set the width to be equal to 100%. Finally, below all of that, we need to add card content root like this. Of course, if we spell it correctly, that's going to be content. In here, we want to set our position to be equal to relative, and also our background color to be set to transparent. Great. Of course, we have to import our theme from the top. And now if we save this, everything should be working. Let's test it out. Looks like I have one small typo once again. So right here, that's going to be classes. And again, I'm not editing these out. I want to teach you that typos are going to happen. Sometimes they're going to be more obvious, such as this one, but sometimes they're going to be really obscure and you can spend hours and hours searching for the solution. So now let's save this, and there we go. Our featured movie card is right here and we can see it. We have our big movie backdrop, we have the title right here and the overview. And now if we're interested, we can simply click it and it's going to lead us straight to more Venom information. Great. Also keep in mind, this persists if we switch the genres. So if we go to adventure, we're gonna get a different movie. Animation, yet another different one, and you can keep going and you'll see all of the different great movies. This one looks really great on this large, wide image. With that said, we have to figure out how to remove this first movie from here, because they're the same. We simply want to see other movies below this one. Well, we can do that easily if we go to movies, and right here where we're calling our movie list, the only thing we can do is say exclude first. Of course, this is not going to do anything by itself. This is a prop that we're passing. So we can go into our movie list and we can accept that exclude first property. So right at the top, we can create a new variable called start from, and we can simply say if exclude first, then start from 1, else start from 0. Now, instead of starting from 0, we can say start from and then go to number of movies. Let's save it. And as you can see, our issue has been fixed. But now we're gonna have one more issue. And that's gonna be if you scroll down, now we're missing one movie to have a really good grid. So to fix that, we can go to our movies. And right here, we have to change our number of movies by adding 1. So it's going to be 17 here and 19 here. If we save that, you can notice that now we have a perfect grid and also the featured movie. Great. Also, it looks like that we're not even using these two inside of our movies file, so we can simply delete them. And that's going to be it. Let's check out our application a bit more. We have a dark mode, we have our featured image, we have a list of movies, including the pagination. That works great. We have all of the different categories and genres. We can even log into our account and see the movies that we have previously added to favorites or that we have added to our watch list. There we go. We can switch to dark mode again. And we also have Alan to do absolutely anything. Let's try search for Venom.
Searching for Venom.
And we immediately get all of the movies that have something to do with Venom. Great. As you can see, you've completely finalized your Filmpar application. Amazing job to coming to the end of this course. The last step we have to do is to actually implement it to the web. And believe it or not, that's going to be much simpler than you might anticipate. Let's do that in the next lecture.